development. Me eleng gore o tshwara thipa ka bogaleng. Me Bathabile Dlamini.
Thank you, program directors, Minister Shabangu and Minister Mthethwa. The President of the Republic of South Africa, President Jacob Zuma, the Deputy President of the Republic of South Africa, Deputy President Cyril Ramaphosa, the Acting Premier of the province, Comrade Nandi Mayatula Khoza, our stalwart who led the march in 1956, Mam Sophie de Bruyn, the chairperson of the African Union, Dr. Nkosazana Dlamini Zuma, our premiers from various provinces, MEC Faith Mazibuko, and colleagues, ministers, deputy ministers, the veterans of our struggle. Ayaroka mayanga yanga. Ayaroka mayanga yanga. Malibongwe. Igama lamakhosikazi. Given that today is Women's Day and that it is the 60th anniversary of the historic march by women against the patriarchal and racist apartheid regime, I would like to dedicate this day to our unsung and sung heroines of the past, such as Charlotte Maxeke, Lillian Ngoyi, Helen Joseph, Rahima Musa, Winnie Madikizela Mandela, Ma Ruth Mampati, and more particularly, those that are still with us, Omam Winnie and Aunt Sophie de Bruyn. Their presence means a lot to us. Siyanthanda. Siyafuna futhi ukusho ukuthi sizimisela ukuthi sinilalele at all times uma nifuna ukusikhombisa indlela. Siyathanda futhi ukufunda kunina ukuthobeka nokuyinikela enhlanganweni nokuthi singalindeli ngaso sonke isikhathi sokuthi when we contribute and we have expectations thereafter. Mr. President, sifuna futhi ukubonga kakhulu nge-21 gun salute. Iyaqala ukuba khona mangabe kuwumcimbi wabantu besifazane. Lokhu kuchaza ukuthi ngempela we have come here to celebrate our heroines, the resilient women who fought a very dangerous and a killer apartheid government. We also want to respect young women who today continue to bravely fight against racism, more particularly at the workplace and in the institutions of higher learning. Inequality, sexual violence, access to sanitary pads, and I must say to indigent families, as well as access to affordable education and free education for the poor. Our fight against patriarchy must be led by us as women. No man should use women, whether young or old, to pursue his patriarchal struggles. It is important for us to remain principled and vigilant and consistent in our struggle against patriarchy. Otherwise, our struggle will be in vain. We continue to encourage our young women to peacefully demonstrate, but not what we saw in the IEC. That made headlines to the society that is fractured and still in the throes of bitter political campaigning. It does not take us forward in the fight against key drivers of sexual violence and persistent levels of inequality between men and women in this society. We cannot dismantle patriarchy when we as women consciously and unconsciously collude with patriarchy by using the ongoing war on women's bodies to fight and defend what essentially fights for power between elite males in our society. If we are to honor the women who fought against apartheid in 1956 and those who fight for the rights of women to have control and autonomy over their bodies today, we have to consciously organize as women through strong women's organizations to advance women's political, social, and economic rights. Given the context of high levels of violence against women, siyathanda futhi ukunqoma amantombazane afunda ema-university noma ezikolweni zemfundo ephakeme ngokuthi basukumile ba-challenge ama-institutions of higher learning ngokuthi apromote i-rape, ngokuthi okokuqala mangabe umuntu erapile bangayi ukomreporta ngaphandle, nanokuthi umuntu angayi e-court so that he can be proven guilty like all other people. And therefore, we want to congratulate young women. And we also want to say that we are going to be part of young women that are going to be changing regulations in institutions of higher learning so as to ensure that young men and some of the lecturers who perpetrate violence in institutions of higher learning go through proper processes, and we need to make sure that those accused of being perpetrators are charged, that a fair trial takes place in a manner that ensures that justice is served. No woman must be killed to remove evidence, as it has been happening in some parts of the country. Singayivumi leyo nto makhosikazi. Abantu babulala abantu besifazane bese beyasukuma kube ngathi bona kakhulu abalwela amalungelo abantu besifazane. Siyathanda futhi ukusho ukuthi si-ANC Women's League inkokheli zethu kakhulukazi zesilisa ziyazi, sayitshela ukuthi uma ngabe kunecala eliphathelene nokuhlukumeza komuntu wesifazane siyoba sesayidini lo muntu wesifazane koze kuthethwe icala bese kuyima siqonda ukuthi kwenzekani. Kodwa siyathula singasho lutho mangabe kusahamba icala, ngoba sifuna ukuthatha iside lo muntu o vulnerable, but still sifuna ukuba principled. Mr. President, ukuphela konyaka wokuqala e-executive committee yethu yakhethwa. And esinye seyinqumo esathathwa ukuthi we must renew our organization, recruit young women into the ranks of the ANC Women's League. And really, young women have swelled the ranks of the ANC as well as the ANC Women's League. And ubabona ngamaduk abafanelayo ney'khavu zabo ney'ngubo and no mama be Women's League sebeze bagqoke amaduk bawagqoke ne-uniform. And Ansofi ute akayithandi leyo nto, comrades. But Mr. President, we have had dialogues in all corners of the country. And we have dialogued with young women. And dialogues have taught us that young women want to use the ANC Women's League as their bridge to success. And therefore, as the Women's League, we have said that we are not only going to mobilize young women into the Women's League, but we are going to form working groups that are going to assist young women to change the quality of lives of South Africans, because the future of this country lies in their hands. And also, we believe that if you teach a woman, you teach the nation. The issues that young women have raised, Mr. President, are the issues of economic growth and job creation and safety at work, access to financial services and financial inclusion. They have also said they are going to work with us as the leadership to build the Women's Bank. And as we are speaking today, Mr. President, we already have a cooperative bank that has been formed in Limpopo. Today, the Minister of Small Business, Minister Lindiwe Zulu, is in the Eastern Cape to also build our own bank and ensure that we fund women's programs. Mr. President, young people have raised the issues of food security, energy, as well as climate change. They have also raised the issues of access to resources by ordinary women. They have raised the issues of violence against women and children. Some of the issues that have been raised are very clear. They need the Women's League to engage in the process of training women at all levels in leadership, from primary to tertiary level, in faith-based organizations, as well as political organizations. In the private sector, where you have a very few women as CEOs, and where you have positions of CEOs being reduced to nothing when they are taken over by women. And they are also given a group of men to help them as if they can't think. We also want to develop young women that are going to be committed public servants, that are going to understand that we are in the period of transformation, and we need to ensure that we don't sacrifice transformation. We are also going to deal with the issues of the judiciary, the media space. We will need to ensure that women are not always shown as objects in the media space, but also the media must accommodate women in leadership positions. If you can look in front of us, Mr. President, you can see who is here. It's men, mainly, and a few women. And therefore, the media must put women in all its positions that are important. We want technologists in the media. We want technicians. We want those that are responsible editors that are going to prioritize the stories of women and the stories of success about women, not negative stories about women. We also want to thank young women and young people of South Africa for going out in their numbers and voted during the past elections. And we are going to navigate and work together to fight male superiority and mainly patriarchy in our communities. The Women's League is going to be in schools, going to look into the issues of health and safety, going to ensure that no child drops out of school, no child leaves school because the child is pregnant. We have to ensure that we build strong families so that we can be able to fight poverty. Alibongwe, Kamala Makoskazi, Watinda Bafazi, Watinda Bafazi. Thank you very much.